And that made me realize, I'm like, okay, well, this is the time as Christians, or honestly, even a Jewish man would believe, you go and you take your hand out and you help this man.
Right. Good for you. That's awesome.
Everybody started booing him and yelling at him after another thing. And I got up and I rebuked the whole crowd. And I said,
I've done too. Yeah.
I go, you guys only have wisdom because God gave you the wisdom. So you smack down the man who doesn't. That doesn't even make sense. I'm entering the political version of who I am by telling people, don't lean on me for advice. I'm learning. And what I want to do is, before I go and tell, the left side or whoever is the other side is, I'm trying to learn what my home is representing. And there's a lot of things that they're representing that they claim, but their practices are not really where our heart should be. What do you think my first step should be? Fixing our home and our positioning in our neighbors, or going and standing up for what I believe in, even though people that are next to me are not behaving in the way that they should be?
Yeah, that's a really, really difficult question. I mean, I think that the obvious answer is you have to do both simultaneously, but it's very difficult. I mean, on the one hand, politics is always coalitional. You're always on a side with many people who you agree with on 80% of issues and really disagree with on 20% of issues. And so you're never going to achieve ideological or attitudinal purity on your own side. It's just not possible because it's many people. And so trying to purify is it's an ongoing process. It doesn't mean that you don't have the obligation to go out and preach your version of the truth from your attitude to the other side. And I love how generous you're being with people. I mean, I think that's wonderful. And I think also that brings followers as well. I mean, I think that the politics right now is incredibly oppositional. It makes for rock'em sock'em robots, and that's really fun to watch, obviously.
Yeah.
But the stuff that tends to generate long-term listenership is not just the rock'em sock'em robot kind of stuff. That sometimes gets people in the door, and then you actually have to give them some substance, and you have to actually, have longer conversations. I mean, I think that when it comes to my own brand, one of the things that we've really tried to do is talk with people outside our box. I mean, we talk to people across the aisle frequently. I have friends, obviously, who are not on the same page politically as I am. I try not to attribute bad motivations to the people who I'm arguing with. I try to say you're making a bad argument, but I'm not sure that it's coming from a bad place. And typically, I mean, I get flack from my own side for saying this, but I tend to attribute most things to stupidity or ignorance rather than to malice. Which, when the easiest thing in politics, the easiest game to play, and it's a game I really hate, is this game of the reason they're doing this or saying because they maliciously hate you. I like that game because it actually is impossible to come together with somebody who maliciously hates you.
I just don't even agree with that.
I don't agree with it either. I think it's
who has that mindset?
I think there are a bunch of people on the right who have that mindset, who are constantly, if ever they say, they're out to get you. They're out to get you. Okay, so there are cases where there are people who are out to get you a particular point of view. That's true, obviously. There are people who hate Christians, who don't want Christians in the public square. That's 100% true.
But if you get to the root of that, right? No matter how much they disguise themselves with hatred or bigotry or racism, there is a disease in there that could be cured. And a lot of people don't agree. They think, oh no, they just need to be killed or they need to be wiped off this earth. But the truth is, regardless of how that person viewed, it's only because they were taking with their society or their thoughts all together and piecing it and then taking their POV of it, and they're like, no, I think Christians are bad because of blah, blah, blah. And they're taking what other fake Christians did to them. And so they believe that all of them. So of course I could look at this person and be like, oh, F this dude. But how I see this, true, and I know it sounds cheesy, is if my God did come down and save me, I was not worthy of being saved. Our people tried to kill him, but yet he still came and loved me. So when my enemy stands before me, I'm not looking at him, I'm looking at the demons that trail behind him with his past trauma or his information that he's holding.
I mean, I think that's a very wise insight. And again, I think from an Old Testament context, that's the book of Jonah. Right? The book of Jonah is all about the idea that Jonah has to go to Nineveh, where everyone's a sinner. And Jonah,
that was us. Right. We were Nineveh, where I'm a Syrian.
And Jonah is protesting because he's saying the Assyrians are going to be the party who ends up destroying the temple. So why am I going and basically bringing them back to monotheism? And God says, well, they're human beings. I mean, you need to go and do that regardless of what comes next. And that's a very generous point of view. I'm not sure that it always manifests politically, but I think that when you're talking to people, it's wonderful. I also think that even on the less deep level, I think you're going to a really deep level that's important, but even on the less deep level where you say, okay, there are people who are motivated by malice, who hate Christians for whatever reason, but actually hate Christians. I think it's easy to ascribe that motivation to a broader swath of people than it merits. So instead of saying we have a political disagreement over X, Y, or Z issue, it's, oh, you do that because you despise me and you want